everyone, welcome back to 1 Cent Sports Cards YouTube channel. Today I am doing another video from my card investing video series, and we will be featuring 3 players that I believe are going to have 2020 seasons that will significantly increase their card value on where it is right now. And why will it increase? Well, because right now all 3 of these players have rookie cards that are priced, in my opinion, criminally low based upon their past performance and their future expectations. So without further ado, let's get right in to who these 3 players are and why I think they would be great investments to make before the start of the 2020 season. Okay, so as I mentioned, I am going to be featuring 3 players that we're going to target before the start of the 2020 season. I believe that if you invest in these 2, 3, 4 weeks into the season, it will probably be too late. But keep in mind, we have a short season this year, a lot of extenuating circumstances, but I do believe I have found 3 players where their rookie cards are really low based upon past performance, and that I do think that by the end of the season that you're going to see all 3 of these cards worth way more than they are right now. So who are these 3 players? Well, you know them, most of you like them, and those players are Rafael Devers, Fernando Tatis Jr., and Francisco Lindor. So we're going to be featuring 3 different cards, and the first card we're going to start with today is Fernando Tatis Jr. The card we're going to be talking about, the 2019 Topps Series 2 card. It is card number 410. Now, all 3 of the cards we're featuring today are going to be base cards, and they're going to be ungraded. Now, why am I doing that? Well, I don't like doing investment videos where we talk about cards that are worth thousands and thousands of dollars and only 5% of the card collecting community can actually spend that money. I want to target cards that are cheap, that are going to be worth a little bit more later, that maybe we're going to grade them. So this is more for the everyday collector. So with the Fernando Tatis Jr., with the chart you're looking at right now are the last 20 sales. Now, to be fair, this is about 48 hours of data back in time. So this is 48 hours ago. But what we're going to see here, card number 410, the condition is ungraded. As you can see, we have a trend line that is already going up, which is to be expected with the start of the season right around the corner. But the Fernando Tatis 2019 Topps Series 2, the average selling price that it's been going for in the last 20 sales is about, we'll call it $13. It's $12.98. You can see some people got it for as low as like $7.50. Other people have bought it for as much as about $15. It's generally been on the rise. Again, that is a very normal thing right before the start of the baseball card season. Now, is $12.98 high, low? I don't know, but I do have a feeling that this card will be worth a lot more at the end of the season than it is right now. And here's why. First, let's take a look at his 2019 stats. Well, in his best 60-game stretch, which is how long the 2020 season is, last year from April 18th, and that April 18th is a key, all the way through August 7th, he batted .336, .395, and .607 line. That included 16 home runs and 13 steals. Now, those numbers this year could win an MVP. And the most important thing to keep in mind on that, that was on April 18th, so that means Fernando Tatis started hot, which is going to be very important this season. A player that starts out with 2-3 weeks being cold, they're going to be left in the dust. So Fernando Tatis has already proven that he can start hot, and not only hot, but to the tune of batting .336 with the .397 on-base percentage, and that includes power and speed. So that is the first reason why I think that Fernando Tatis by the end of this season could be an MVP consideration. Not only that, but when we look at the card, which is the 2019 Topps Series 2, that card traded for a lot more before his lower back injury that happened, I believe it was late August last year. Pre-injury, those cards were already going for about $20 to $30, graded obviously even more. So those cards have come down a lot because there is a slight injury risk with Fernando Tatis. He has been injured a couple times in his career, but most of those injuries, in my opinion, are actually pretty minor. A lower back injury, that is not an uncommon injury for a baseball player, nothing that is detrimental to your long-term success. And with that being said, don't forget, Fernando Tatis Jr., he is still only 21 years old. So he did all of this at the age of 20. He is only going to get better. So even if this 60-game stretch thing that I'm pitching to you right now does not pan out, bailing out on Fernando Tatis at the age of 21 would be a really short-sighted idea. I believe that Fernando Tatis here in about 3 or 4 years is going to be known as one of the best players in the game, if not the best player in the game. Now, that might be overstating things a little bit, but let's say he is a very solid player and he is a perennial all-star. That $12.98 price that you see now, it's going to be worth more, I believe, in the short term, but even in the long term, I think it'll be worth more. It's a very low-risk, high-reward card right now. And don't forget that Fernando Tatis is also playing on a much improved Padres team that could very well be in the hunt for the wild card this season. I do not believe they're good enough to overtake the Dodgers. I'm not saying that. But with the shortened season, I do believe that you'll see a .530 winning percentage, maybe a .535 winning percentage get into the wild card, and maybe even something lower than that. The Padres, I do believe, are a team that could very much do that. So I think they'll be a team that'll definitely be in contention. So in the media, you'll be seeing his name come around. So you guys, Fernando Tatis, that is my first player. Who's the second player? We're going to go to Rafael Devers. Now, his rookie card is in 2018 Topps Series 1. It is card number 18. Now, the card we're going to be looking at today is the base card, obviously the ungraded one, as I had mentioned before. And as you see the chart on screen, his card is all over the place. Now, I'm going to give a little bit of an explanation to this. All of the things that you see around $7 and $8, those are all buy it now prices. All of the lower items were actually auction prices. So we have people that are buying the buy it now high, and we have people that are buying the auction low, and this is the last 20 sells on eBay. This card has gone for as low as 99 cents on eBay, not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, but 5 times in the last 20 sells. So you can get this card for $1, which in my opinion, when I say criminally low, and we're going to get into why, Rafael Devers should never go for 99 cents. Now, there are people that are much more reasonable that are buying this for a little bit more, say around $5, $6, $7, $8. But the average selling price, because of those 99-cent cards, is basically at about $3.95. Way too low for a player as good as Rafael Devers. And I'm going to tell you why Rafael Devers, I believe, is a really smart investment. So, first of all, let's take a look at last year. Past stats equal future success. First things first, he led the major leagues in doubles and total bases in 2019. He led everyone. So total bases 2019, that didn't belong to Ronald Acuna Jr., that didn't belong to Juan Soto, it didn't belong to Mike Trout. That belonged to Rafael Devers. Not only that, but he was tied for 5th in batting average, and he had a WAR of 4.9, and that is all at the age of 22. Now, why you would think, so why are Rafael Devers cards so low? Well, at the age of 20, or actually 19 when he came into the league, he had a short stint, and then his 20-year-old season, he came out and struggled a little bit in the majors, which is not uncommon for a rookie. And when I say struggled, he batted .240, which is more than Albert Pujols is batting right now. Keep that in mind. So there's that. The other key thing here is with Mookie Betts. He has now traveled west to greener pastures out in LA. And that makes Rafael Devers the big star in Boston, which is still one of the premier markets for baseball. Going to get a ton of coverage on ESPN, Fox Sports, all of that stuff. So he'll get a ton of attention. And if the team stays even marginally competitive, which I believe they will in a 60-game stretch, Devers is going to get all of the credit for that. And if he puts up numbers like he puts up last year, he is going to be the main man on one of the most prestigious franchises in all of the major leagues. Those cards will not be going for 99 cents for that much longer. And that gets to my next point. These cards, they're criminally low right now. Keep this in mind. If you can get one of those cards for 99 cents, if you flip that card into a PSA 10. Now, is it easy to get a PSA 10? On Topps 2018 with the full bleed? Not really, but if you can get lucky enough and get one, those cards are selling for around $60 to $70. And you can get ungraded ones for $1.99 on eBay right now. That's a huge flipping opportunity. Even if you get one that's a PSA 9, you're probably talking around $20 to $25 right now. So definitely a huge flipping opportunity here on a player that is phenomenally good. He came in with a lot of hype, and his numbers last year were just phenomenal. And the other thing, just like Fernando Tatis Jr., he typically does start fast, which is going to be important in that 60-game season. He won Player of the Month back in May 2019. He had about a week or two in April where he was a little slow coming out of the blocks, but then he exploded and he had that 7-8 week stretch, which is about what 60 games is going to be for the entire season this year. If he does that again, he's going to be considered one of the best hitters in the game, because everyone waits until they see that second encore performance. So if Devers does perform up to what his expectation is. Keep in mind, he's only going to be 23 years old this year. He's still coming into his own. He's just now coming into the prime of his career. I believe he will be much improved. He's got enough people around him, JD Martinez, that his bat will be protected in the lineup. So definitely has all the potential to have another repeat season. So those Rafael Devers 99-cent auction cards, I do not believe they are going to be doing that for long, and I do believe that out of all three of the cards that we're featuring today, that this is the one that has the most flipping potential when you talk about getting it graded. But let's move on to our third player, and that player is Mr. Francisco Lindor of Cleveland Indians fame. Now, we are going to target his Bowman Chrome draft. His rookie card is in 2015 update series from Topps. And that card generally sells ungraded for around, call it anywhere between $30 and $50, depending on if you're getting it auction, buy it now, all that stuff. But I wanted to grab a card that was a little bit cheaper. Now, why is his first Bowman a little bit cheaper than his rookie card? Well, they did have a card that came out in 2010 that featured him in his USA uniform. So technically that is his first Bowman card, but he's in his USA uniform. That card does not go much more for what this Bowman Chrome does, but it watered it down just enough. But with all that being said, Francisco Lindor, a very interesting card this year. So we're going to do the 2011 Bowman Chrome Draft Prospects, the card number BDPP 53. Again, we're doing ungraded. And as you can see on the chart here, 20 sales ago, this card was hovering anywhere between, call it 8 and 14, actually even less, like $6 and $14. And it has recently shot up in price. Now, why has it shot up in price? Well, again, very natural that at the beginning of the season, the hype machine starts going, people start getting excited, more people come into the hobby, more people start buying cards. However, Francisco Lindor is one of those players that this year is going to have a lot of attention on him for a lot of different reasons, and we're going to get into those in a minute. So the average selling price right now on this card is $13.28 ungraded. So why are we targeting Francisco Lindor? First of all, and it's not the obvious reason, Francisco Lindor, I believe, has been undervalued for a long time. he is one of a very few handful of players that has 30 home runs and 15 stolen bases for 3 straight seasons. And not only that, he has been durable. For the last 4 seasons, the least amount of games he has played is 143. The guy is a little injury proof. He's still young. He is a proven superstar in the league. He's durable and he always performs. The second reason I believe Francisco Lindor is way undergraded is currently he is projected as having an 82.1% chance of making the Hall of Fame. Now, a Hall of Fame rookie card, how much do those typically go for? Do they go for $13.28? That probably isn't the case. So Francisco Lindor is not going to be at that price forever. If he has even 4 or 5 more seasons like he has right now, he's pretty much a lock to make the Hall of Fame. If you go look at his numbers, he may play for a small market team, but he plays like a big market superstar. So that is something to keep in mind here. He is one of the highest rated active players in regards to percentage chance of making the Hall of Fame. He is top 12 overall out of all the players in the major leagues, and he's still really, really young. The other thing is Francisco Lindor, as many of you probably already know that follow the game, there's a high probability that the Indians' window has closed and that the Indians are going to deal him at the trade deadline to a World Series contender to try and get as much as they can back in the farm system and prospects for a star like Francisco Lindor. So if he gets traded, which that deadline is August 31st, which is in a shortened season, keep in mind that is only like 6 weeks away. If he gets traded to, say, the Yankees, he's been rumored, the Dodgers have been chasing him for a long time. There could be a surprise team that comes up that is surprising, that makes a run at the World Series in a shortened season this year. But if he ends up playing for a World Series contender and ends up in the playoffs, his card, obviously, because of the media attention and all of the hype that will surround that trade, it's going to go way up. Not only that, but even if he doesn't get traded, his name is going to be in the news nonstop. And if his bat is producing along with the media hype that is around to trade for him, it isn't going to matter if he gets traded or not. That card is going to shoot up in value. And we're talking about a guy that more than likely is probably a future Hall of Famer. Then there's the other part. These cards, the first Bowman Chrome card from 2011, if you get it in a PSA 10, those cards are all selling between $75 and $100. And really, it's closer to $100 already. As you guys saw on the trend line, this card is going up and up and up. People are picking up on the fact that Francisco Lindor is going to be one of the big names of the 2020 season, and they're buying the cards up. So now is the time to get in on that before these cards shoot up. And if you get an ungraded one and decide to turn it around for flipping, there's a lot of potential upside for flipping on this. So, you guys, those are my cards. We've got Frankie Lindor, we've got Fernando Tatis Jr., and we've got Rafael Devers. I hope that you guys can get in on some of these cards. Be sure to comment below and let me know what you think would be a good investment for the 2020 seasons and what players you are targeting. Let me know if you think I'm way off base on my projections. And don't forget to throw over to first, hit that like button for me. If you like the card investing video series, now is the time to subscribe. We do these fairly regularly, and be sure to hit that bell notification so you can be in on these, because sometimes with cards, as most of you know, this is one day, the story is one way, and an injury or anything else can happen and everything changes. So you got to move quick in the card industry to be able to flip those cards at the right cost. But I do think that these three are pretty low risk and pretty high reward for the 2020 season. So with that, guys, I'm going to sign off. I hope that you guys are being good to your family, being good to your friends, and being good to your neighbors. I hope you guys are having fantastic luck on your personal pack pulls. And if you are a card flipper, that you are definitely making the right moves to flip these cards to make a little bit of money to support your habit, or to make a little bit of side money on a side hustle. So with that, guys, thank you for watching. Have a good day. We'll talk to you later.